How to straighten it out when you don't have a frame machine. First thing you need is a good stiff pole stuck in about 300 pounds of concrete. Schedule 40 pipe. Then you need at least 1.5 tons, which is what this is. Ratcheting hoist, that's what you call it. Then you need a good 4x6 post placed strategically on the frame mounting cross member here. And on this one, I placed it directly above the last frame bolt right there. You don't want to place it further back than this with the frame in place. But all the bend was forward of that bolt anyway. Now, if you remember from the earlier videos, this section was hit. The car was hit from this angle, and this bumper reinforcement was shoved over about, I would say about 2 inches or so. I marked it right here and here. This mark lined up with the very tip of this portion here. This portion here is perfectly aligned from the factory. You can see the gaps. The gap here and the gap here are identical. But this mark was lined up with this, and it was shoved over here. So it was off center about nearly 2 3/4 inches. So I measured the exact distance from here to here. This is my center point. So from here to here, from here to here is identical. Then I took an angle, placed it right there, and then took my ruler, placed it directly there, which gives me my center line directly on the tip, dead center. So now the bumper reinforcement is exactly center, and I have the exact same clearance on both sides of these upper frame rails between the radiator and the support. Exactly the same. So sometimes what happens is when you release the tension from your hoist, it'll move back. So you always want to go a little bit more, not too much more. You want to keep checking it each time you go beyond that center point. You want to release it and see how far it's gone back, checking it with your square. And when you release it, and if it stays perfectly centered, well, then you got it. No more work needs to be done. Put the car together. And by using a broad surface such as this 4x6, it's difficult to cause any kind of damage to the upper frame rail support structure, because that's pretty thick metal. It's not flimsy sheet metal. You also want to be cautious with your tension lines because you could bind up and crack your headlight or do something like that. You don't want to do that. The worst thing that happened here is I bent this little piece of sheet metal, which I can easily bend back with a pair of pliers. But now it's perfect, exactly where I want it. Perfect. Anyway, this is just a quick video to show you how to adjust side damage being shoved over. And it'll work either direction, of course. You just have to reverse the car if you had a hit from the passenger side knocking it over this way. You want to pull it towards the passenger side. In this case, this car was hit from the driver's side and it shoved it over to the passenger side, so you want to pull from the driver's side back towards the driver's side. Anyway, any questions, comments, leave them below. And if you want to see more of this build, subscribe, and appreciate a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, leave them below. Thanks. Have a good day.